Hi, guys. Welcome to the AMP podcast. This is season 2, the premiere episode of our video portion of this. Last season, Justin, we did 9 episodes.
We did.
Audio only.
Yes.
So, AMP podcast. I'm Mark Dandrea, the doctor of real estate, the founder of AMP, and I am joined by Justin Humphreys. Justin, you want to say hi?
Sure. Hi, guys. Justin Humphreys. Humphreys Homes at Red One Realty, one of your AMP co-leaders here. Like Mark said, this is episode 1 of season 2. The season 2 premiere. As Mark mentioned, we had season 1 audio only. We want to give a big shout out to our friend and partner, James Minter with Buckeye Media Services that helped us out with season 1. We're here today in Plain City, Ohio.
Yeah, Sycamore Studios.
Sycamore Studios, very impressive place.
Yeah, I love this place.
We've got Steve with us. Steve is our off camera but on microphone producer. He's going to be joining us in the episode today.
We're going to engage with Steve. If it's not obvious, now that the introductions are out of the way, I have a broken cup. This was purchased for me by my daughter. She gave it to me as a gift. I'll read it to you. Dad, thanks for being my dad. If I had a different dad, I would punch him in the face and go find you. Signed, your favorite.
That's a good
So I arrived this morning. I'm already geeked up. I got Zen in my pocket, and I came here with an espresso. So I arrived, and Steve was kind enough to offer me another espresso. Put my cup on there. Hear the machine doing its grinding. Must have been grinding and vibrating a little bit too much, because the next thing we heard was a crash on the floor, and this is the result. So I'm heartbroken, but I've already asked her to get me another.
I'm sure. Hopefully, she'll be able to find that replica, and
she will.
What better way to christen the new studio other than shattering your favorite coffee mug? 2 minutes here.
I think it's a great omen.
I think it is too. Guys, here on the AMP podcast, we have some incredible sponsors we wanted to give a shout out to real quickly. We want to mention Vault Title. Vault Title is our in-house title company at Red One Realty. They do an incredible job for all title-related services and also for your marketing services as a realtor. They liaison very well with our AMP team.
Absolutely.
And the agents that are on the team to do geo-farming, flyers, printouts, any kind of material you might need to support or supplement your real estate business. Give a big shout-out to Vault Title. They are our sponsor, and we enjoy working with them and enjoy their sponsorship.
They're outstanding. Carly and the girls, do an outstanding job. They take care of our buying and selling clients really, really well. Title work is extraordinarily important in real estate, and Vault Title does a great job.
Absolutely. We also want to mention Right Way Roofing. Right Way Roofing is a local roofing company here in Central Ohio, owned and operated by our good friend Brian Moore. He's a friend of the AMP platform. A lot of AMP agents. Mark, I know you have clients that have used Brian. I refer a lot of business to Brian, and we really appreciate his personal approach to the roofing business.
Yeah. One of the keys to being that anything home agent for your clients is having those trusted vendors and contractors that you can refer them to, and Brian Moore does a great job at Right Way Roofing, so we're tickled to have him as a sponsor for sure.
Absolutely. And we also want to mention Red One Realty. Obviously, Mark and I are both agents under the brokerage of Red One Realty. Started in 2019. As of today, took the record for the number 2 sales producing brokerage in Central Ohio year to date.
Yes.
So that's, Red One Realty is a 6-year-old company up against some of these brokerages that have been around for 50 or 60 years. Took the number 2 spot as of today.
Yeah, we have outstanding brokerage support. I mean, one of the reasons, of course, people that join Red One, agents that are getting their license join Red One, is the low fee schedule that they're presented with. However, Mike Hall, Ken Fairchild, Michelle Brooks, and Bob Petty as our licensed brokers do an incredible job to support the agents at Red One. So that's got to be the reason why we are growing in volume and growing in agents so quickly. So appreciate you guys very much. Thank you so much to Mike, Ken, Michelle, and Bob.
Yeah, I couldn't foresee myself being at any other brokerage. I love Red One Realty.
You and me both.
So Mark, we originally had a guest scheduled for today, Gina Warner.
Gina, we hope you're feeling better. Sorry that you could not be here to join us for the season 2 premiere.
I imagine we'll see her on episode 3 or 4, but we had a lot of questions lined up for Gina, but instead I figured, why don't we, it's the first episode of season 2. So Mark, if you could briefly take us down memory lane, and for anybody that might not be aware of how AMP came to be, how you're the founder of AMP, how was AMP started, and what's the history of AMP?
I'll try to be brief. As you well know, in our coaching sessions and training sessions, we tell a lot of stories in our communications with people every day. That's part of a conversation, is telling stories. So
Right.
the briefest version is in 1992, I started my career in real estate with what it was known at that time as Dominion Homes. It's now known as Pulte. Outstanding company, tremendous leaders at Dominion Homes. Certainly vied for the largest new home builder in the state of Ohio, up against MI. So my first day there, I was in a sales meeting and new to that atmosphere. I was with maybe 8 or 9 other very talented salespeople. And one of the fun things, or perhaps vagaries of being a salesperson, and it still holds true today, your customers and clients would come in and have questions about things that are unrelated to buying a home. And that quickly became the theme behind AMP, the agent mentorship platform. I did not want to enter the real estate business and just be a pure salesperson. You and I talk about this all the time with the other leaders and the other folks on AMP. Our business is about being of assistance to people when they have a question relating to their home. So it wasn't a pure sales approach. It was about being of assistance. And again, that started in 1992. I left Dominion Homes in 2002. And with a good buddy of mine, Scott Bookheimer, started a brokerage called A-List Realty. It still exists to this day. And we grew that brokerage pretty quickly with the theme of AMP and the manner in which I ran my business, which was to be of assistance. So we recruited, coached, trained, grew that business to around 22 agents pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then I spent the next 18 years looking for another brokerage when I left A-List Realty, amicably. Scott still runs it. We're still great friends. And tried for 18 years, Justin, to find a brokerage that would allow me to coach, recruit, train, mentor agents within the brokerage. And unfortunately, most brokerages are not set up. Their basic business structure just wouldn't allow for it. I was with RE/MAX, tried it there. I approached and spoke with Coldwell Banker and Century 21 and HER. And this is, to me, it's funny. I had started a small boutique brokerage with Samantha Blackburn. Samantha came out of the property management sphere of our business. This was in 2019. And one day I was on Facebook, and we had recruited at that time and trained and were coaching and mentoring about 16 agents. We were growing fairly quickly, but small in comparison to other brokerages. And one of our agents that we had worked with, Stephanie Sims, had left our small brokerage and had joined Red One.
Mm-hmm.
And she was on Facebook one day, and I was friends with her on Facebook, and I saw her post. I'll never forget it. It was, woohoo, first closing at Red One, 100% commissions. I love it here. So I saw Mike Hall on the thread, and Mike Hall and I knew of each other. I had been recruiting at Hondros for career night, saw him and Ken there on various occasions. So I saw him on the thread, and I responded to Stephanie's post. I said, we have 100% commissions here. Come back. And I was only kidding. I'm sure Mike Hall knew that. He said something funny in response to my comment. And it was one of those karmatic moments, Justin, in our lives. And you've had them, Stephen, you've had them, where it just strikes you that, well, enough is enough. And I direct messaged Mike and said, I think we need to meet. And I'll never forget his response. It was 4 words: "You're right, we do." So I set up a meeting with Mike Hall and Ken Fairchild. I went down, left my office, went down to tell Samantha I was going to meet with the Red One folks, and sat down with them and just told them the plan, which was, I have been looking for an opportunity for 18 years to hire, coach, train, recruit, mentor, assist agents within a brokerage, and just be that. Do all the transactions that I can do to assist my family and friends and past clients and future clients, and coach others for the pure enjoyment of coaching others, and get paid for doing it.
Yeah.
And so we decided right then and there what that would look like. And in 2019, I brought my license to Red One, and they started with a couple of us, and now there are 114 folks on the team.
Yeah.
So it is just all about being of assistance to agents and helping them to understand how to market, grow, maintain, and sustain a successful real estate business. And success is defined by the agent's vision of what it is that they want to achieve. So that's the shortest way I can put it. Sorry.
Well, and I'll dovetail in with that. I long time, I was a veteran of the hospitality industry, managed several different bars and restaurants in Eastern and Central Ohio. That's why I moved to Columbus originally in 2013. I was working at a great place called 1808 American Bistro in Delaware, Ohio.
That place is great.
I was managing the front of the house or working the bar one day, and my partner, Ashley, her mom was a real estate agent. She came up to me and said, I see the way you are with your clients and customers here. Really think you should give this a shot. So she was my original mentor. She was a realtor at the time and paid for my Hondros schooling. So I have her to thank for that. And
thank you, Melissa.
Thank you, Melissa. I was able to get my license, and we were with a small boutique brokerage, but as a new agent, I realized really quickly that training was something that was very important to me and was lacking where I was. So Melissa and I looked for a change, and I don't even remember how it happened, but we stumbled upon Red One Realty, and it was right at the same time they had formed. So we heard about the 100% commission, very intrigued by that. Heard about Mike and Ken, great reputations. So we joined up, and I think I don't know the exact numbers, but I think Melissa and I were in the first batch of 30 or 50 agents that joined Red One back in 2019. And, we plugged along I plugged along. I had some decent success in my first few years, but I kind of,
how did you, if you had to capture it, how did you start your business? What was your initial game plan to influence and nurture folks to come
I had
to?
no game plan.
Okay.
There was no business planning sessions at the small boutique brokerage where I was. There was no Mark Dandrea there to sit down with and say, this is your vision, here's how we achieve it. So I plugged along. Melissa helped me a lot, taught me a lot. And in, I think it was November of 2020, I think somewhere around there, I saw a Zoom call with you and Mike Hall, and you had announced that AMP was coming to Red One, and you were looking to coach and mentor agents. So I jumped in and said, okay, let's give this a shot. It's very low fee, great value. So, the first, I hadn't even talked to you yet, I don't think, but I was signed up for AMP and had a client that had an issue that I didn't know how to handle. So I called you and said, hey, Mark, I'm Justin Humphreys. I know you don't know me, but I'm on the AMP team. Looking forward to working with you. Got this issue, explained it to you, and you said, stop what you're doing. Don't text, don't call the client anymore. Let's hop in the car. We're going to drive down there to Lancaster, far away. We're up in Sunbury, Delaware.
Sure.
So we're going to drive down to Lancaster and solve this problem. So that's what we did. We went down to Lancaster, and you went down there and sat in the living room with my client and me and helped me solve that problem that we were having. So from that day, I said, wow, I never met anybody in the real estate industry that would go to that length to help other agents. So that sold me. And, I think the second year I was with AMP, I doubled my business after we put together my business planning session and continued to do better and better. And eventually got to the point where I started coaching and mentoring agents alongside you and became one of the co-leaders. So that's kind of the origin story of AMP, the origin story of
Justin Humphreys.
me connecting with AMP. And now, like you said, we're up over 113 agents, 114 agents. We have four incredible co-leaders aside from ourselves.
Yeah, let's talk about those folks.
So
Gina Warner,
yep,
Malika Smith,
yep,
Sheila Howe, Dana Kitchen, and Justin Humphreys.
yep, and Mark Dandrea.
Well, I am incredibly blessed to be surrounded by folks that are dedicated to assisting agents, putting agents first. That is a tough mode to be in, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all have our own vision for what we want to achieve in real estate, and it's just a blast to be surrounded by you guys, and I just love all of you, and it's a good time. So.
Well, I think it's like if anybody remembers Captain Planet, the cartoon from when I was a kid in the early 90s, you had this team. It was like Earth, Water, Wind, Fire, and together they came together to form Captain Planet, right? So that's kind of how I see us. We've got Malika Smith is our incredible investment expert. She's really the investment wing of AMP and also does a lot of our accounting and admin type stuff for the team.
Yep.
We've got Gina Warner, who is a longtime broker herself, successful real estate team in the southern part of Central Ohio.
The Kingdom Realty Group.
Yep. So tons of experience and knowledge and really just a great person. Very good with her practical advice and real world mentality.
Sheila Howe's an outstanding marketer. Dana Kitchen, also an outstanding marketer. We're blessed to be in that group.
Yeah. So if you're an agent that comes into AMP and you're looking for something specialized, I mean, you've got all these different leaders with all these different talents that can assist you.
Absolutely. 24/7, basically.
So that's a recap on AMP, guys. If you're watching this for the first time, or maybe you're not familiar, you've gotten all the lore about AMP, the backstory. So, Mark, I understand. We just had Easter. How was your Easter? I think you hosted at your house.
Easter was great. Some backstory. Our son-in-law and son were deployed, and it all happened to coincide with both of those families building a new home.
Thank you, Cody and Garrett,
Cody
for your
and
service.
Garrett, thank you for your service, and thank all the folks out there that have dedicated a part of their life to service of our country. So Garrett's back. He's been back for about 3 weeks. And Cody has been back for a couple months because our daughter just had our third grandchild. So
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. We had everybody together. It was at our house. It was a great time. It's just family is critical, right? I mean, everybody has about kind of 4 things that their life is made up of: family, faith, even if it's in yourself, a social life, and there's work outside of real estate, obviously. So family's first, and it was a blast. How about you?
Pretty good. We had same thing. We were hosting.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Melissa and Rob are the
matriarch and patriarch.
They are. They're the Mimi and the Pap of our family, and they usually host. But unfortunately, we had someone pass away in the family, and we felt like
about that.
Appreciate that. To take the little bit of the pressure off them, we decided to host this year at our house and had everybody out. Had a big Easter egg hunt for the kids, and it was a great time.
What'd you have? We got to know what
food
wise.
Oh, everybody brought something. So we had ham, obviously.
Yep.
Mashed potatoes, green bean casserole, sweet potato casserole. I'm big on charcuterie, so I did a big charcuterie and
our
veggie
daughter-in-law
tray.
is the charcuterie queen.
Yeah, and we just had fun. And also,
Thanks,
my
Sydney.
daughter turned 7 on Easter, so it was her birthday too. So we had a great time.
Which
Mackenzie.
daughter? Happy birthday, Mackenzie.
Yeah, she was very excited. So.
Good deal.
All right, guys, listen, this is, so on these episodes, we have some segments for you, and I know Steve warned me not to be too regimented about how we go into these segments, so I'm just going to introduce it the best way I can. Sorry, Steve. So segment number 2 we're going to roll into here is the AMP action plan, where Mark and I are going to talk about 1 or 2 actionable tips for our AMP members to deploy to improve their business. So, Mark, I think you had mentioned that you wanted to talk about networking and how important that is.
Yeah, it's interesting. networking is something that human beings do every day. We just don't call it networking. There's purposeful networking, and then there's, we walked in here today and Steve came up and said hi and greeted us, and that's networking. I mean, you're just having conversations with folks. So in our world, if you narrow it down to just the real estate piece, one of the most important things that we can think about is imbuing your world with real estate. So you can purposefully join a networking group, or you can create your own networks. Many of our agents are administrators on the Facebook pages for their communities, or sponsor the garage sale for the community, or I understand you sponsored an Easter egg hunt for your community a couple weeks ago.
Correct.
So these are all networking events that are purposeful, designed to engage with folks, assist them with real estate if you make a connection there. So those would be purposeful networking events. But frankly, for those agents out there listening to this, every day is a day to network. Family, your sphere, your friends, coworkers, folks that are obviously very important to you. These are folks that we should make connections with and enjoy. And even though networking is the word that we use for it, I just think it's going through your life and wanting to engage with people. And my dad taught me a lot of things, but we were we were going into a hardware store. This was probably late '60s, and I'm toddling along behind him, and he's walking ahead of me, and a gentleman was coming out of the hardware store, walking towards us, and they made eye contact, and my dad said hi, and that guy said hi, and I just asked him, as a kid would do, "Did you know that guy, Dad?"
Who was that guy?
Who was that guy? And he said, "No, son, but if you make eye contact with somebody, say hi."
Yeah.
So every day is a day and an opportunity to network and enjoy the other folks that are in your life. And if real estate happens to come up, to give them some help there too. So I think that's about all I can say about networking.
Well, I heard a quote that I think I said before, and you liked, that your network is your net worth. So
without a doubt, in real estate, for sure.
Yeah. So the people you surround yourself with, the environments you're in, really dictate, the success that you have to a certain degree. And on the networking thing, I love challenging myself to, in the morning, put 5 or 10 business cards in my pocket, and by the end of the day, I want that pocket to be empty.
You'd be proud of me.
There you go. Perfect.
I just pulled them out. I've got more than 5.
So when I go to Starbucks, the person at the drive-through gets a card. When anywhere, I try to give those cards out and network with people. And
yeah, and let's be clear again, for the agents out there, and for customers and clients out there engaging in this podcast and watching the podcast. For us, it's not about any purpose. It's about engaging with people, enjoying yourself, being of assistance. What happens in any conversation you have with anyone? Let me present some elements to you. You're curious about the other person,
right?
You're going to give them information because you're asking each other questions, and you're certainly going to get information. So it is, it's certainly a business. Real estate's a business. But let's just be ourselves and have some fun and say hi to folks. Everybody walks around, and this is not mine, but everybody walks around with a sign on their chest. Make me feel better. Say something nice to me. Let's engage with each other. So if we can walk around in life and have that as our one of our keys to success, then that's just being a human being.
Absolutely. Mark, you had mentioned my action plan was that I was going to talk about community events, and you had mentioned that I sponsored the Easter egg hunt. And
I was tickled when I saw this stuff on social media. This was cool.
It was a lot of fun. It was my first one. I'm a little bit embarrassed to admit that I haven't jumped on that train a little bit sooner, but it was my first one. Had a blast. I mean, the whole neighborhood came. I barely had. We put the
Where
Easter.
Where do you live?
I live in Amherst Village.
Okay, in
Westerville. Where your daughter used to. They lived over on Starbuck Court, I think. We're a couple blocks east of them on Ormsby. And Amherst Village, a very fun, family-oriented community. I love that we get to live there, and I love that our kids get to grow up in that community because it's parents get along, kids play together. But the opportunity came up for me to sponsor the egg hunt through the AVRA, the Amherst Village Residents Association. Shout
Hmm.
out to Erica D'Alessio, who was my liaison with that. And we got out there, we hid the eggs at the elementary school, and then I started to get my table set up, and I barely got done setting up the coffee and donuts and waters and my raffle item, and droves of people started coming. I mean, I barely got set up, and I was handing out raffle tickets, and it was like a blur.
Yeah,
But I was able to snap a couple pictures in the chaos, and Erica did a great job of shouting me out to the community. So I
sure.
got some good exposure there, and I'm going to look to piggyback that and continue to nurture that with some geo farming and just establishing myself as the go-to agent in that community. And that's a form of networking as well. Networking with my residents association, being involved in those events is a good way to, put yourself out there and be visible to people.
Well, you said it there at the very end. Put yourself out there. I mean, there are, thousands of real estate agents, certainly across the country. There are thousands in the state of Ohio. And one of the skill sets that you want to sharpen right away is putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
One of our co-leaders calls it the imposter syndrome, right? We over time become experts in real estate, experienced in real estate, provide outstanding advice. There are hundreds of steps that go into building a real estate business. The old adage, find something you're passionate about, spend 10,000 hours becoming an expert at it, and then go out and crush it and have fun with it. Put yourself out there. You had a blast, right?
Yeah. I had a really good time.
Right. And
I had too much fun. I was like cheesing in the pictures. I looked like one of the kids. Like you'd have thought I found the golden egg or something. But
well, networking is critical, and
yeah.
involving yourself in events that you create
Hmm.
is really important as it relates to running a real estate business.
Awesome. Well, you got it there. Networking, community events, guys. Two great actionable tips from the AMP action plan. We're going to move into one of my favorite segments here, the Agent Spotlight, sponsored by Vault Title. Want to give a quick shout out to Vault Title. Title work, agent help with flyers and marketing. Guys, Vault Title, we don't shout them out because they're our in-house title company. We shout them out because they are, in my opinion, one of the best in the business when it comes to title work.
They absolutely are. When you are engaged in real estate, you think of the number of parties that are involved in that process. You have buyer's agents, seller's agents, their clients, a title company, a home inspector, a lender, unless the client's paying cash, an appraiser. There's a lot of moving parts, and it's really critical to the success for your client's transaction to have a competent title company, and Vault Title does a great job.
Absolutely. So Mark and I had identified a couple agents that we wanted to give a shout out to from the AMP platform. Mark, who is your AMP agent spotlight from the AMP team?
Nicole Rowell. Nicole, I can't tell you how much I enjoy our coaching Zooms, our one-on-one Zooms together. As a newer agent, she's on a Zoom with me once, twice, 3 times a week. And Nicole's a truck driver. And one of the first things she asked me about, I drive a truck. I mean, she has a passion for real estate, obviously. She went through the steps and the certification to get her license. That's not easy. So Nicole is growing rapidly in her business, sharpening her skill set, very active on the AMP platform. As you know, we meet on Tuesdays. That's 4 Tuesdays a month, 2 Thursdays a month, Saturday mornings, one-on-one Zooms with me. We have a chat bot on the Circle platform.
Support, yeah.
It's just we're available to them, and Nicole has taken advantage of that, and I'm very proud of her. And I just wanted to give her a shout out. Nicole, well done. Let's keep building your business. I appreciate you.
Awesome. In my agent spotlight for today, my AMP agent that I wanted to highlight was Tammy Irwin. We're all familiar with Tammy.
Yep.
Tammy is one of those highly dedicated agents that is, I think this year in particular, she kind of has made a commitment to really buckle down and, get the gears moving, really dedicate herself. I know, like a lot of AMP agents, a lot of us have work outside of real estate as well. And on the AMP team, we don't frown upon that. We hear brokers tell people, oh, you can't be a part-time agent, this and that. We hate hearing that because, like you said, family, faith, social life, and a lot of times work outside of real estate.
If you take that as your definition, everybody has family, faith, even if it's in yourself, social life, and oftentimes work outside of real estate, then everybody's a part-time agent. I don't even like the term.
Right.
There is no such thing.
Yeah.
Your vision in real estate is your vision.
Mhm.
If it's to assist 2 people a year or 4 people a year, if you annualize this, or 20 people a year, all of those folks are dedicated professionals that are working very hard. And Tammy Irwin is just one example. Her other position is in retail, and retail is
And
rough.
she's a very experienced retail person in the cosmetic industry and
Yep.
has a lot of great clients, does a lot of good work there, and is also a very dedicated marketer of real estate services.
Without a doubt. And I thank you for that.
And
She's also a real estate agent and a realtor, but she is a marketer of real estate services for sure.
and we do our monthly mastermind meetings, and Tammy said, hey, I can't be there, but here's my goals. I want you to help me stay accountable. Here's my goals for the month. And she wanted to volunteer to be our opportunity seat agent in the upcoming month's mastermind class. So shout out to Tammy. We recognize Tammy as one of those great people out there on the AMP team, and we just wanted to give her a quick shout out.
I love that you called it the opportunity seat. And for those that are on our team, it's actually the hot seat, but I'm glad you called it that.
All right. Well, this next segment,
Let's put Stephen on the hook here.
Yeah, let's get Stephen involved.
So the next segment is Ask the Coach. So this is an opportunity for Stephen to think of a question that he might have to ask either Justin or I or both of us a question about coaching, mentoring,
Real estate,
real estate, or otherwise.
real life, anything in between.
Oh man, coaching. I'm still just getting to know you guys.
Yeah.
But I'm really curious. What do you feel when people approach you for coaching? And I'm assuming they approach you.
They do.
What do you feel their biggest anxiety and I guess reservations of coaching and bringing you on are typically?
I think the first reservation is there's 2 or 3 that are top, but the first one is fear. You use the word anxiety, Stephen. So the fear of being held accountable, the things that are unknown, that famous thing, the only thing
Fear
to
of
fear
the
is
unknown. Yeah.
fear of the unknown, or fear itself. You don't know things, and somebody else is going to lead you to water, maybe even drown you in it, but we can't make you drink it. So I think it's fear of the unknown, fear of being held accountable. And lastly, and this is important, coaching isn't free, Stephen. So it's very inexpensive, but it's not free. So any new business owner is going to be short on a couple of things: money and patience. So having the patience to allow your coaches to get you through this. Many agents, face a transaction prior to being fully prepared for it. So that would actually be a positive for coaching. But I think it's fear, being held accountable, and hey, how much is this going to cost me if I were being brutally honest?
And also, Stephen, in the real estate industry, there's lots of shiny objects out there, right?
Oh.
There's lots of national companies. There's lots of there's tons of investing classes and how to become the expert and all this stuff. AMP, it's pretty easy for us to show the value. AMP doesn't have a traditional team structure as far as the payment is concerned. Very low fees, high support, kind of the same thing that Red One Realty does. Low fees, high support, same theme there. So after they come in and have a conversation with us, a lot of those anxieties and fears kind of go away. And the ones that make the decision to join AMP, they typically see about a 42% boost in their business in the first year.
First year average is about 1.3 million. So you could apply a percentage to it. The second year is actually about 152% growth, and then the third year is about 43.
So proven track record, low cost, high support. So it's a package deal. We work hard to maintain that.
Appreciate that, brother.
Thanks for the question, Stephen, and thanks for getting Stephen involved, Mark.
Yeah, sure. He was real tickled. I could see the look on his face when I asked.
So
Ready for you anytime.
Awesome. So our next segment, Ask the Coach. This is a segment where we're going to present a couple questions that have been tossed around by some of the AMP members. And this Ask the Coach segment is sponsored by Right Way Roofing. Want to give a shout out to Right Way Roofing, a locally owned and operated business here in Central Ohio, owned and operated by our good friend Brian Moore, friend of Red One Realty, friend of the AMP team, friend of the AMP podcast. So thanks, Brian. Thanks for your support and continue to do that good work out there.
Thanks, B.
All right, Ask the Coach. So we've touched on this a couple times, Mark, but one of the questions that comes up is about conversations, especially for new agents.
Sure.
I'm a new agent, just got my license. I'm out at a dinner party with my spouse, my partner, and we're mingling. And of course, you're going to get into conversations, and occupation's going to come up, and a lot of people say, "Well, what do I say?"
I only chuckle because we mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
Under the networking segment. Justin, we have opportunities every day to just talk to people. And I think any conversation is eventually going to come around to real estate. Just so happens that we're licensed, so it certainly should. You're running a business. But, 33% of this country's gross national product, don't quote me on that, but it's close to that, is derives from the real estate industry. If you think about all the people that are involved in real estate. So real estate's on people's mind all the time as an investment. It's their home. You know, you return to your home, whether it's an apartment, a condo, or a single-family residence every day. So conversations come up all the time, no matter where you are.
And the second you mention you're a realtor or a marketer of real estate services, what's the first question that always comes up?
If I happen to bring it up, the first question that comes up, or one of the few that come up, is how's the market?
Right.
How you doing in real estate? What's going on? So my answer to that is just what I'm experiencing, which is to tell stories. We're going to go over this in a minute, so I don't mean to, steal thunder from the future, but there's 3,900 houses, nearly 4,000 houses on the market. So I would respond with that. Maybe quote what interest rates are, even though neither one of those things drive our market. So it's about being curious and giving some information, and then finding out, what makes you ask, Justin? If you want to role play this, we can. What makes you ask, Justin?
Well, we've been in our house for about 4 years, and it's getting a little small. We've had our third kid.
You're making it easy on me.
And we just been, thinking about maybe selling recently. And, but we see the news, and interest rates are high, and interest rates aren't 3% anymore. So
no, they're not. We got spoiled for that, Justin. And we just met here at this party. I don't want to keep you. I see your wife over there waving you back to come see her. Here's a couple business cards. Why don't you put your name and cell phone number and email address on the back of one of them? I like to stay in touch with people. I send out a monthly newsletter to my family and friends and clients. It's fun. I'll probably look you up on Facebook, so don't think I'm stalking you, but I'll connect with you, and we'll get together at some point in the future. And if it's something that you and your wife want to take care of, we'll certainly get together and talk about it.
Awesome. Thanks, Mark. My wife has a margarita. I'm going to go.
Yeah, you can take off for that. So again, just be a human being, man.
Yeah.
Be curious and give some information, and real estate's going to come up pretty naturally. And if it doesn't, you can bring it up.
Absolutely. And you just mentioned a newsletter, so that's going to dovetail into my Ask the Coach. So
You send out a newsletter.
I do.
Every month.
Every month.
I love that.
So a lot of some of the questions I get from agents are what's the best way to stay top of mind? When we say top of mind, you just mentioned it. The interest rate, the days on market, the inventory, how much inventory is out there, those things don't drive the market.
They do not.
The drivers of the market are the events that happen in people's lives that make them move. Could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. Marriage, divorce, birth of a child, death of a relative,
job transfer,
occupation, anything like that. So those are the things that drive the market, and it's incumbent upon us to stay top of mind with our sphere, the people that know, like, and trust us, so that when those events happen in their life, who's the first person they think of?
So I'll ask you some questions.
Yeah.
So this will clarify it for those of you that are watching the podcast. If you get a toothache, who do you think of?
The dentist.
Yeah. your car breaks down and it's just slightly beyond your ability to fix it, where do you go?
I'll probably go to Garage 36 in Delaware.
There you go. Shout out to Garage 36 in Delaware. Last, aches or pains, or you just not feeling well and you can't fix it yourself with over-the-counter stuff, where do you go?
To my doctor.
Yeah. If someone in your life, as a licensed real estate agent and an expert in the field, thinks of anything having to do with their home, who should they call?
They should call me.
They should call you.
Or you, if they know you.
Well, that's right.
So, guys, that's staying top of mind, right? And one of the ways that I do that is that I have two that I want to touch on really quickly. One is the newsletter. So, like a lot of us AMP agents, I send out a monthly newsletter to the people in my sphere that has some value, some fun segments on it. It's got some recipes.
It's not much about real estate, frankly, is it?
No, it's more just about life in general.
Yeah.
Little bit of real estate information sprinkled in there. Fun quiz on mine, but the newsletter is a great way to be in front of people at least once a month throughout the year consistently so that they see your name, they associate real estate with you, and you can stay top of mind. So anybody that needs help with their newsletter, please reach out to me. I coach and train people on that a lot. The other is the annual real estate review or the value update. So I've been doing this lately where
I love this.
yeah, it's, sometimes maybe I closed a deal with a client 2-3 years ago, and maybe they get my newsletter, they see my social media posts, they get the birthday greetings and
Sure.
the anniversary greetings. But a good way to make sure that I'm staying top of mind and in a flow state with those people in my sphere is the annual real estate review, where I just give them a packet that gives them an update on what their current market value is for their home,
Yep.
what their market's doing in their neighborhood, and a net to seller sheet for them to help calculate their equity that they have in the home in case they want to, maybe they're thinking about selling, or maybe they want to take out a home equity line of credit and finish their basement or update their bathroom.
You're being of assistance
Being of assistance.
for
And
anything home.
what I've realized with that annual real estate review is not a lot of people track it. Not almost 80% of the people that I hand those to, they have no clue what the value of their home is currently. They might know what they bought it for 2-3 years ago, but in Central Ohio, these properties are appreciating at a very, very healthy rate.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of them are surprised by the amount of equity that they've accrued just in a short 2 or 3 years. So
Education, be of assistance.
that's it.
It has nothing to do with a transaction.
Right.
You're not asking anybody to sell their home right now.
Quick cup of coffee. Love to give this to you if you have a five minutes to spare and just a chance to catch up and say hi.
Yeah, I love it.
Awesome. So stay on top of mind. Newsletter, annual real estate review, conversations, be of assistance, be curious. Don't be salesy. Give information, get information. Mark, you want to take us into the Market Pulse, sponsored by Red One Realty?
Absolutely. Sponsored by Red One Realty. My call, Ken Fairchild, Michelle Brooks, and Bob Petty. Thank you for being our brokers. Red One Realty is growing rapidly, and it's because of their support of agents
Right.
and their low fees. So Market Pulse, interest rates right now averaging 6.98% across the country. Guys, let's talk about that for a hot second, because we've been talking throughout this podcast that interest rates and inventory don't necessarily drive our market. We hear a lot of white noise out there from the media, the national media and online, that those are things that drive our market. But interest rates at 6.98%, and you said it earlier, we were spoiled by 3%. Yeah, we were. When I was with Dominion Homes, interest rates were between 4 and 6 for most of the years I was there. Yes, you could buy down the rate to 2 or 2.5. The market adjusts. Speaking of 6.98, about a year and a half ago or so, in the fall of 2023, interest rates were approaching 9.
Yeah.
So they're 2 points lower than what they were. So interest rates
Real
are
quickly,
interest rates.
you look at a 5-year window.
Yeah.
Sure, interest rates look a little bit high right now compared to where they were in
Sure.
2020.
But
But if
always
you,
refinance.
that's correct. That's been,
There's a plug and shout out for all my lender buddies. You can always refinance.
you can always refinance. That's correct. And, but if you look at a 30-year window,
Yeah.
this 7% interest rate we have right now is considered pretty average.
Pretty average.
Yeah.
There's nearly 4,000 houses on the market right now. Interesting to me, again, as we grow in our real estate businesses, and we track these things for ourselves and for our clients. I remember this very clearly. In most of 2023, you had between 1,800 and 2,400 houses on the market any given month. And then when interest rates spiked towards the end of 2023, that jumped to 3,300 houses. And, we ask ourselves, well, if interest rates are driving the market and they were approaching 9%, why are more people putting their house on the market? So now it kind of settled into between 2,800 and 3,300. It's been averaging about 3,300 to 35 or 3,600.
Yeah.
Now we're at nearly 4,000 houses on the market. It's a great time to sell your house. It's a great time to buy your house. So let us know how many days on the market.
So days on the market's interesting. In the Central Ohio is one of the top markets in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
So you have these neighborhoods that are hot spots where people want to live. They're desirable neighborhoods, whether the school's nice or they've got great accommodations, convenient location. So for those hot areas, we're seeing about a 15-day average days on the market rate for those hot areas in Central Ohio. As you push out of the hub of Central Ohio into the more rural areas, you get into the 30, 35 days on the market range. And that's the time between when a house gets listed and when they accept an offer and go what we call into contract.
Right. That's not total.
Right. That's not
Closed.
That's not on market to close. It's on market to it's in contract. So 15 days in the hot areas, 35 days in some of the more rural areas. And, the days on market, even though the inventory has gone up, the days on market is starting to trend down a little bit. So these little puzzle pieces. It's interesting how they play off of each other and that ebb and flow in the market. But Central Ohio is so strong.
Yeah.
Good schools, good job opportunity, good infrastructure.
And all three of these market pulse statistics are driven by events that take place in people's lives. And
Absolutely.
That's why we're here.
All right. So interest rate 6.98, inventories 3,900 homes on the market, days on market's about 15 in the hot areas, 35 in the rural areas. Let's move on to segment 4, Mindset Matters. And we've got about 4 or 5 minutes left here, and this is going to be a perfect ending to our first episode. These are inspirational quotes or stories or practical advice on staying organized, maybe maintaining work-life balance. It's the Mindset Matters. So, Mark, you mentioned about a Fred book when we talked, and I'm curious about what that is.
Be a Fred. Everybody should go get this book. There's a couple of things that come to my mind. I'll let you guys get the book and see what you think about it. But Be a Fred. Fred was a mailman and just provided incredible, way beyond the pale service. And if we could all just be a Fred, that would be a good thing. Apply these kind of concepts to your real estate business. Now, you've seen me share it to the AMP platform several times. The gentleman who talks about the coffee barista that he met in an airport. These are folks that no matter what they're doing,
they're exceptional.
They're exceptional at what they're doing, focused on what it is that they've chosen to do with their lives. So if we can be a Fred, be an outstanding coffee barista, whatever it is that you're choosing to do in life and be passionate about, be exceptional. Go beyond. We've talked about it on this segment, and we'll be talking about it in future segments. We assist people in the marketing of real estate services. That is anything home. It's my front license plate. It's anything home. You have clients that would be interested perhaps in reducing their property taxes if they can, or they need a referral to a landscaper, an electrician, or a plumber. These are things that we want to become experts in, have that in our back pocket so we can take care of our clients and go well above and beyond the transaction. We say it often on the AMP platform, so I'll end with this. Justin, our job starts when people close. Yes, we absolutely get them through the transaction as smoothly as possible when you have all these human beings involved. But our work starts when they close because they're pulling up every day to their home and they love being home, and we want to make sure that that's something that we're involved in. So I'll have some quotes from that book in the weeks to come.
Awesome. Well, I'm big on books lately. It's definitely one I want to check out. For mine, one thing that helps my mindset and just getting me in that mode is my morning routine. I think it's very important to have a healthy morning routine. And a couple of the things I'd like to highlight from that morning routine. One thing I do every single day is I write down my affirmations, my positive affirmations.
Mm.
And this is me talking about my goals in the present tense as though I've already achieved them.
Mm-hmm.
So this helps me mentally, physically, emotionally get in line with what I want to achieve in my life. And writing it in the present tense as though I'm experiencing it now puts me in the mindset of this materialization, or I'm missing the word for it, but thinking it into existence, essentially. Getting in the mindset of I've already achieved this. This is my life, and getting in the vibration of success. So it would look something like, I enjoy making $100,000 a year coaching and selling real estate.
Yeah.
I enjoy helping my clients buy or sell 15 homes a year to assist them.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy being a good father and a good partner. I love weighing 225 pounds because that's one of my goals, to be a little bit healthier this year. So
you don't weigh that now?
no, I'm
You
well
look
above
good,
that.
man.
Thanks, I appreciate it. So that morning routine is important. Positive affirmations, my gratitudes. I write down my gratitudes, things I'm grateful for every morning. Helps me remember why I do what I'm doing. So could be different every day. I'm grateful for my parents, grateful for my kids, grateful.
Sure.
A lot of times that stuff is the same thing every day, but get a healthy morning routine. Maybe throw some exercise in there. Make sure you're drinking water. All that stuff we sound like people's parents, but it's important. Some people roll out of bed. You have so much to do during the day that you don't even have 5 minutes to think about yourself. So try to get up early, take a little bit of time to focus on yourself for a little bit and get in tune with what you want to achieve.
I'll share with you my morning routine after we find out what Steven's morning routine is.
You're on the spot, Steve.
Oh man, you ready? It's pretty much wake up, have a glass of water, read the news, get the kids on the bus, and then I'm back here to work.
Yeah, perfect.
Love that.
So
Drinking water, you're taking care of yourself. Reading the news, you're getting scared about all the crazy stuff that's going on in the world.
see how you're going to adjust to that.
And then you're coming in here and helping people support their business. I love it.
Add a little pinch of Baja Gold salt to that first glass of water. Shout out to Baja Gold salt. Get up, coffee, put my boots on, go out, feed the horses, take my shoes off, walk around the grass for a couple minutes, take 10, 20 deep breaths, relax.
A bit of grounding.
A little bit of grounding. Breath work is what they call it.
Yeah. Box breathing.
Stare at the woods and the house and enjoy the sunrise because I usually get up pretty early. And so it is a routine 3 times a week. Throw the workout in there. It does get your day started off well. Tasks, right? But tasks that are just repeatable.
Yeah.
So that you feel good about how you're starting off.
Tell you what,
Same thing, Steve, with me. Glass of water, I just throw in a pinch of Baja Gold salt.
sometimes if I don't get that workout in, I feel cloudy. I feel disorganized sometimes. I think once your body gets used to doing that,
Yeah,
it really helps.
absolutely. Love that. Morning routine.
Yeah, morning
Start
routine.
off right.
Yeah, exactly.
Love it.
Guys, that's it. That's a wrap on episode 1 of season 2 of the AMP podcast. We want to give a big shout out to Sycamore Studios for having us.
Love it.
Incredible time today. Can't wait to see this. Want to give a big shout out to our sponsors. Red One Realty, low cost, high support. If you're looking for, maybe you just got licensed or you've been in the business a while, please give a look at Red One Realty. You will not be disappointed. Vault Title, in my opinion, one of the best title services in the industry here in Central Ohio. We'll close anywhere. We'll help you with your marketing stuff. And Mark, if you want to give a shout out to Red One Realty to cap it off.
You mean Brian or Red One?
Or I'm sorry. We talked about Red One. Sorry, Brian. You want to give a shout out to Brian with Right Way
Brian Moore
Roofing?
with Right Way Roofing. He's every time I call the guy, he answers his phone.
Every time.
He's outstanding in working with insurance companies on roofing situations. He can get involved very quickly if you have a transaction where you need a roofer to get involved. We love Right Way Roofing. And Brian Moore, thank you very much for being our sponsor for this episode. Appreciate you.
All right, Mark. It's a pleasure as always.
I enjoyed it, brother.
We'll catch you on episode 2.
Take care. See you guys.
See ya.